Not too long ago, I finally cleaned up my room and I realized how far I actually came to making my life a whole lot simpler. You don't really realize how cluttered your life really is until you actually unclutter it. And well, uncluttering in general isn't the easiest thing to do in life. And you might be asking, what are some ways that I can unclutter my life? Well, you are one lucky man or woman to stumble upon this video because I'm going to go ahead and give you these 7 things that I've given up to help me simplify my life. So getting right into things, the first thing that I really quit was social media. Now, I didn't quit all social media because obviously as a 21-year-old, it's kind of hard to stay in touch with some people outside of social media, but I've definitely cut down on Instagram and TikTok and also a lot of YouTube and stuff like that, unless I'm obviously recording videos and stuff. Those are the things I mainly quit. I've kind of stuck with Snapchat because a lot of my friends text on there and stuff like that, so it's just how I connect with everybody. But on average, social media takes up 2 hours and 33 minutes every single day. Now imagine what you can use with that time if you're not on social media. You can be a way more productive person, and honestly, it would probably make you a lot less stressed out. And honestly, once I started cutting down on social media a few months back, I really did start appreciating the little things in life, and I felt like I had a lot more time to myself. You also have a better sense of self-awareness, and you really do start comparing yourself less to people, which I think is really crucial in our days, because honestly, social media is just a platform used to say like, oh, I'm not as good as this person, I'm not where I want to be, because you look at everybody with their lives in social media, and I mean, I'm sure you've heard this before, but not everything on social media is 100% true, and that also goes with the people that you know in their lives. They could be lying on social media and stuff like that, pretending to be happy and stuff like that. Surprisingly, one of the more positive side effects is I've been able to create deeper connections with people, and I mean, it's probably just because you're not as glued to your phone and you're not really focused on the social media aspect of friendships and stuff like that. You're creating a general one-to-one connection with somebody outside of just a phone, oh hey, can I go get your Snapchat and stuff like that. So it does help with people interactions, and it does help you feel a lot more organized in life, just because social media just brain rot. Another thing that I've cut down is actually sleeping in. Not getting enough sleep generally throws off the next day, and sleeping 8 hours has made me feel a lot more productive and energetic. Now, I would usually go to bed around 12, get up at 8 a.m. I know some people don't need the 8 hours of sleep. I feel like I need the 8 hours of sleep to really have a productive day. But I mean, in general, if you get good quality sleep, it'll help with your overall performance in your day and also help with brain functionality. So that works. And one thing that I heard is really the best caffeine is not coffee, it's actually getting the right amount of sleep. Because if you get the right proper sleep, there are times where I've gotten up and I'm I have so much energy. I used to sleep in, lose hours of productivity every single day. It's not good. The third thing that I quit was actually negative energy. Just being surrounded by negativity in general is not really a good thing. And I mean, there are a few instances I can recognize there's a negative energy around a workplace or social environment that it will just in general bring you down if you keep sticking around there. Okay, so my mom has told me this plenty of times, but you are who the 3 people you surround yourself with are. If your 3 best friends are the most negative people in the world, you're probably going to be a negative person. So in general, it is good to really cut down on the negativity and really bring in more positive people. Positivity will help motivate you to be a more productive person. Negativity just in general just complicates life. I mean, nothing really good ever comes out of negativity. Remaining positive leads to getting more things accomplished because you're able to cope with negativity better than if you are stuck in a negative mindset. The fourth thing that I stopped doing was consuming more content than I create. Now, this obviously doesn't fit everybody, but for me, I made it kind of a goal of mine to spend more time creating content than I'm consuming. So consuming kind of goes hand in hand with the social media stuff. I realized that creating more content gives me a drive and a focus, keep moving forward. And I mean, in general, I said this before, but social media, consuming content, it doesn't really benefit you unless you are taking notes and it's self-improvement type of stuff. Most of the content out there is just there just to keep you distracted. I mean, hey, you never know when the content that you create could potentially lead to success in the near future. And it also helps you create a consistent workflow. So there are benefits to creating content, even if you aren't really that about that kind of stuff. And I mean, you could also have a big impact on the world. You never know until you try. Fifth thing I stopped doing was overthinking. Now, growing up, I used to be one of the biggest overthinkers throughout my entire grade. I still kind of am, but it's really unnecessary most of the time because, I mean, it can lead to you basically feeling like you're leaving the real world and entering like a completely different world. Like you'll think so much that you won't even like be like aware of like your physical surroundings. It's not a good thing. Honestly, my mentality has been less thinking, more doing, and ever since I've said that, I've cut down on the thinking and have been trying to be more productive, which honestly gives my life kind of more of a direction. An overthinking type of life. It's just overthinking. You have so much stuff going on in your head, it's hard to really comprehend everything at once. Sixth thing is I used to be really unorganized, and something I realized is just simple is better. I clean my room. I'm sure I'm going to show a couple recordings of it. I cleaned my room like a couple weeks ago, and ever since then I really do feel like I have more of a direction. And also I feel like I'm just thinking a lot more clear because I don't have those thoughts in the back of my head where I'm like, all right, when am I going to clean this room? When am I going to do this? Like, why is everything in my life so unorganized? It's like I get paranoid with that stuff. It's kind of like OCD, but not. Let's just say having a messy room like I did, it's really not motivating. Leads you to be really distracted because you feel like you have to be organized, and you would kind of prioritize that over everything else in your head, but you might be too lazy to actually do it. It's something that might be hard to do initially, but once you get in the groove of, you know, cleaning or clearing out your laptop of like all this stuff, it just helps a lot. Seventh and final thing that I will talk about is trying to do too much at once. And this kind of also piggybacks on the being unorganized part. I'm talking more about like multitasking and stuff like that. Many people think that multitasking is very beneficial to you, and in reality, to a certain extent, kind of, but for the most part, it's not. Multitasking means like half your brain's working on this, half your brain's working on something else. But if you set your focus on one goal and one goal only, your brain will just 100% focus on this one thing, and you will get it done with much more efficiency. Multitasking, kind of like being unorganized, leads to being overwhelmed and making things in life a whole lot more complicated. A few months ago, I tried working out twice every day, 7 days a week. I've tried starting new businesses and stuff like that, and I really realized what I was doing to myself was I keep adding on stuff without even finishing the stuff beforehand. Like, let's just say like YouTube. Like, I didn't finish my YouTube project, but I'm working on other things, so it doesn't really help with progress in life. And I realized, yeah, you could get them done, but your progress will just be everywhere. Like, it's not going to be one straight line forward, which is a lot easier to follow. And also, surprisingly, and maybe not surprising after I've been talking about this for a minute, you get a lot more done when you are not multitasking than you are multitasking. And it's also, multitasking is also one of the easiest ways to produce stress and slow down productivity. Even though the things that you're picking it up, you're not really being productive when you're doing too much at once. Those are the 7 things that I've given up in my life to help me simplify everything in my life. If you guys have anything that you guys have done or that you guys have quit that actually made your life a lot more simpler, let me know down in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your guys' opinions. Other than that, if you made it to the end of the video, thank you. But also, please subscribe to see more content like this. Other than that, guys, have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.